the thing is, many people, you do not have the discipline to stay on routines. True. But when there is an incentive and there is a reason to stick to routines, you find yourself making the effort to stick to routines, right? Not everybody loves to get out of bed in the morning, but when you know that if I get out of my bed and I take a walk, I'm going to earn these amounts of tokens. I mean, that could just be an encouragement for you to do that.
For what it's worth, the bigger the problem, the more solution you can put out
there. Yeah.
One of the ways we are happy is when we earn money.
Yeah. Money is very important.
If we are working, we are skipping, and we are jogging, and we know that we can earn money from doing all of these activities, I would double down. Over 70% of you watching me right now are yet to subscribe to PT Podcasts, and your subscription means a lot to us. Here's why. You've been enjoying our Genesis 1 million subscribers reward program coming up shortly, and we want you to be part of that. And in turn, we promise to keep bringing high quality guests to this show and have you listen and learn how you can navigate parts according to different things that you'll be hearing from the mouths of the different builders and founders that we bring on the spot. Today, we're joined by Dr. Talle Davidson and Matthew. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you. So Dr. Talle, just so you know, is currently building Nurika, which is a move to earn platform. He's the co-founder and chief growth officer of Nurika, basically a move to earn platform that incentivizes people to do physical activities from day to day, jogging, running, walking. All of these things are things you can earn by doing. Tell us more about Nurika, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, T. Nurika is a gamified fitness application, for those of you who don't know, that is designed to incentivize healthy living, basically. And Nurika will reward you for staying fit. And when you engage in physical health activities like skipping, running, jogging, etc., you get to earn the Nurika points tokens. Yeah, and we're bringing in a feature soon that would allow you to convert these point tokens to airtime, data, subscriptions, and all of that.
This is beautiful. I remember way back there was one of those companies doing all of that, but now it looks like it's not well talked about. This is a real use case of blockchain. Like I say this, it's because you are incentivizing personal development at its peak.
Yeah.
You are building things around well-being and helping people stay fit. Not only staying fit, stay healthy. Because I mean, if you're able to exercise, I'm an exercise freak, so if you're able to see that, I see that, I see that. If you're able to do that regularly, it doesn't just help only the body, it helps the mind to function well. So let's start from what was the major problem that made you figure out, oh, I think I need to solve this one thing by building Nurika.
So I'll tell you a story. In the wake of 2020, during COVID, I had this mentee of mine who had an uncle that was like a breadwinner in their house. And his uncle has an active lifestyle of going to work early in the morning and coming back late at night. And this uncle lived in Lagos, by the way. And because of the COVID lockdown, he was, at home, and he stopped living an active lifestyle. So for decades, his body metabolism was used to waking up in the morning, say 4 a.m. and coming back from work, say 9 p.m. But because of the COVID lockdown, he was at home and he started to live what we call a sedentary lifestyle, a less mobile lifestyle.
Yeah.
And one day he tried to get out of bed, he slumped and died.
Wow.
So that period became a very dark period, in their family. That became like a very troubled period, and we thought of ways and means to prevent such things from happening in more families. Because he was a breadwinner, he was the one that a lot of persons looked up to. He was shouldering a lot of bills and responsibilities, and now he's gone just because of a health challenge. Yeah, so that itself was how Nurika was born. That mentee of mine is my co-founder today. He's a clinical pharmacist, and he's a co-founder of Nurika. Because that situation brought sadness and pain to that family and to their family, we decided to say, what is the opposite of sadness and pain? And it's joy. And the eastern part of Nigeria, joy is Nurika. So that was how Nurika came about.
That was beautiful. That was a beautiful story. I like how you use the story to like paint the exact picture of what the problem is.
Oh, yes.
For what it's worth, the bigger the problem, the more solution you can put out
there. Yeah.
Now, this is the solution that is not just, like you mentioned in the eastern part, it's called Nurika, right? You see, one of the ways that the whole world at least, one of the ways we are happy is when we earn money.
Yeah, money is very important.
Right, so if we are working, we are skipping, and we are jogging, and we know that we can earn money from doing all of these activities, I will double down.
Exactly.
I will double down on them.
And you have more reasons. You know, the thing is, many people do not have the discipline to stay on routines. True, but when there is an incentive and there is a reason to stick to routines, you find yourself actually making the effort to stick to routines, right? Not everybody loves to get out of bed in the morning, but when you know that if I get out of my bed and I take a walk, I'm going to earn this amount of tokens. I mean, that could just be an encouragement for you to do that.
You people are already helping thousands of people without going so like blown in Nigeria. But
Yeah.
I want to like circle back in terms of the process of building. I know you've been mentoring a lot of people from Opportune International, right? Opportune Internationals. I know you've been helping and mentoring a lot of people from the recent founders cohorts that you've been hosting and all of that, just to help people in terms of achieving personal and business good, which is important.
Great.
Most of the questions that the audience and myself want to ask you would be, what routines do you use to keep up as a multi-talented people? Because most of us listening to you now, we're multi-talented. We have interest in virtually a lot of things, So how are you able to keep up, and what system do you have in place that is helping you navigate all these different talents?
Okay, so I have two assistants and they are virtual, right? So they get to keep me in check to remind me of my meetings, my commitments, and my appointments. So that's one. Secondly, is that I try not to do everything at once. I pick one project at a time. And as I work on it, I throw my energy on it. Once it's gaining traction, I kind of diversify to the very next project, right? Because I believe you might not be able to do everything at the same time, but you can do everything over a period of time, right? That's why there's such a great thing as goal setting and goal mastery. So when you set a goal to say in the first quarter of this year, I'm going to do this. So you know the kind of project that you put in the first quarter to crush. For the second quarter, you know the goal that you put there. For the third quarter, you know the goal you put there. For the last quarter, you know the goal you put there. So you don't bother yourself if you're in January, February. You don't bother yourself so much about the goal you need to achieve in November. It still will be far. You channel your energy now and crush the one for the first quarter. Yeah, so that's personally what I do. So I have something I want to do in November, right? There are some, for instance, not everybody know the musical side of Talle. I sing very well and I play the instrument. Wow, right? Yeah, I write music. Right, I've written over 200 songs.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have a particular goal in my list for a mini concert I want to do, a worship concert I want in November. I'm not bothered about it now.
Right.
What am I doing now? I'm making inquiries and contacting singers, contacting producers, and contacting engineers, making inquiries as to costs. How do I put these songs to streaming platforms? It doesn't cost me so much to make these inquiries, but I do these findings and keep them. I'm building networks and relationship with people, right? While I am actively building in tech,
Right.
while I'm actively partnering with blockchain companies like Solon.
Yeah.
That's what I'm actively involved in. For my music, I'm not active. It's passive, just making inquiries for now. So that's just a bit of a strategy to let you know how you can, over a period of time, do it. But people see me in November, I'll probably do that concert. They just feel, how is he able to do this or do it? I have been planning it, for a while.
We took people on our ways with PT Podcast, launching PT Podcast.
Oh, yeah?
So myself and the team at Chords and Sounds, we've been producing, and I call Chords and Sounds Cast Studios because many people do not know that, okay, we have a studio like that over the past 2 or 3 years, we've been post-producing podcasts in the Web3 space for different brands like Pushcast, Beyond Fear Peace. Most of the notable brands, like we've done partnerships with Rari, with ApeCoin, and then we've been the ones in the background. After we got the instructions, we wrote them down. So the first step is writing it down, like you mentioned, putting it, okay, this is what I'm going to do at this exact period.
Yeah, correct.
And we knew that we were going to go live on the first week of January this year. So we started making plans. Ordering most of our equipment, we got them from China. So it took us like a period of almost 1 year of planning.
Wow.
To get set.
That's a long song.
It's a long-term thing. We knew that, okay, we are not, and we have a long-term goal of 10 years to at least be one of the most listened to from Africa to the world, right? And then we've been able to bring lots of founders from different spheres of influence. So now we have you on the show telling us how you're able to navigate as a blockchain expert, as an entrepreneur, a multiple founder who has like those different things. How are you able to keep up so that we have viewers who now feel like, oh, I'm doing so much.
Yeah.
So I think I should let go of some things. You never know which one would work.
Yeah.
I think you can agree with that. Exactly. You never just
Exactly.
do everything. But then I like how you structure the routines and systems. Do this at this exact time. Managing interests, very important. But then for someone who is not able to have a virtual assistant, how would you like tell them to go around it in terms of keeping up with things in your head?
So there's tech. There are tools available. There is reminders, there is calendars, there are all of these tools that are available that you can set, right? To remind you, to prompt you when to do which, when to do what. And apart from tech, there is the gift of friendship. Where you can have accountability partners, right? And you say, you are my friend, as my friend Thompson. I want to do this before the end of March. Please keep me accountable. All right, that works. Right. And it's part of the reason you should have strategic friendship. Don't just get contacts. Don't just have stray friends. Don't just have circumstantial friends. Have intentional friends. Have strategic friends. Friends who help you level up. Friends who inspire you to do more and be more. And that itself, will help propel you to from where you are currently are to where you desire and deserve to be.
That's right.
Right. And number 3 is to have mentors. Right. To have mentors. That's a very powerful ingredient in a man's life. A real man's life. Yeah, you must have a mentor. And it must not be a mentor for everything. It could be a mentor for just one thing, right? It could be a mentor for a particular project that you need to crush, that a milestone you need to crush, or a project you need to you need to do, and you should have a mentor that you can call up from time to time to say, "I'm doing this." And I want to get it done. I want to be accountable to you. And your mentor can call you up in the middle of the night, say, "Hey, are you sleeping? Wake your eyes up and go do this." Your mentor can tell you, call me by so time and make sure you give me these reports. Even if your human self want to be lazy,
Yeah.
because this is someone you respect, you honor, you would want to push yourself beyond the limit to ensure you deliver, on that goal. So these are just 3 simple things that I think when you don't have an assistant, you can use tech to help yourself. You can use good friendship and you can use mentorship.
But then in the area of mentorship,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be someone you see IRL.
Okay.
Like I would put it, right? So one of those episodes I did with Joseph Facing, we were talking about mentorship and the need. I think we'll come to that part as well. There you share your journey of mentorship, the role mentorship played in your life, basically. I think we established the fact that sometimes mentors can even be friends.
Yeah.
Unless you never knew that.
Yeah. My mentors are my friends.
Exactly.
Yes, they are my friends. I have a mentor for I think over almost 15 years now. Junior TJ. He's like a big brother. He's a mentor. I've known him since I think when I was a teenager or so.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's now my friend. We talk a lot, but he's still my mentor. And I still look up to him. I still learn from him. Right. We gist and all of that. We crack jokes. We do business together now. Right. I just told you my co-founder in Nurika, where I'm a T. Or he's now my business partner. So there are conversations we have as business partners. There are conversations we have as mentor mentees, right? I have a guy, I think you mentioned, Abdul is my mentee, right? But now we're working in the solo business together, and by structural hierarchy, he's up there. I told you about it. But he's still my mentee. It doesn't stop that. So there are conversations we have. I called him a few minutes ago. He spoke to me as someone who's leading me in the organization, right? There are conversations we have. I will speak to him as his mentor and tell him this is how to do it. This is how to do it, right? So it doesn't have to be only be your peer can mentor you. Someone who's your age mates but has gone further in a particular direction can actually mentor you. The idea of mentorship, is taking you through a path that you want to be through that I have been through before. That's the idea of mentorship. Regardless of age, color, and everything, mentorship can work.
Thank you so much for establishing that fact, because it's not is not well spoken of, because we live in a country and a culture that has made it look like mentors are only supposed to be up there, right? And sometimes you see someone that is, you're 10 years older than you. You cannot learn from him. Go get him as a mentor. If he has done something you aim to do, swallow your pride, go submit yourself and say, please, I need you to help me with this. I mean, at the end of the day, you crush your own success. Nobody cares. Nobody remembers if you learned it from A or B or C. It's true. It's how far you are, where you are, how good you're doing that matters most. And I mean, in Africa, we should just throw away this cap of age and ego and all of this. It's doing so much. It's doing a number in us. And while I don't want to talk about it, but I want to pick your brain in terms of what role has mentorship particularly played in your life?
To be honest, mentorship has helped me a lot, right? From just showing you what's possible. I remember one time Trinity did a conference years ago. I can't remember the particular year. Step Up conference. He used to do them in tours. Step Up conference, and Pepsi sponsored one of the conferences, gave me $1 million. It is not now that inflation has seen the naira. I mean, around the time, man. I mean, years. This is years ago when I was not Dr. Talle. When I was yet to even find my path, and TJ was doing conferences around the world, and Pepsi would sponsor, give him money. So just being in contact. Then we were using BBM, BlackBerry Messenger. That was a long time ago. Imagine when what are they thinking? I met TJ through BBM, actually, yes. And imagine just being in his space and seeing that work. It's a different thing if someone that's just virtual, but I was close to him and I could see him do this. It gave me some form of mental permission to say, you can do this. So say, this guy is doing this, you can do this. And here we are, decades later. I'm touring around the world, I'm doing conferences, I'm speaking in Dubai just tomorrow. I'm handling leadership training for a global team, right? I travel around the world, I speak at events, I sit alongside people I used to admire online as co-speakers. Yeah. Right. Now, this TJ didn't sit me down to say, number one key to this, do this. Number two step, you have to do this. He didn't. By association, I got to learn. I got to observe. And that's something, and that's something that mentorship does for you. It gives you an opportunity to learn, to observe. And there is another ingredient that people miss. I call it E for energy. There is an energy you contact just by being around your beat. Sure. They necessarily don't have to tell you, don't say 5 keys to success. No, just being around it is called your energy. They just have that energy that you contact. Energy for success. Energy of doing things. Energy of networking. You just observe how they do things, how they attract things, how they attract the right people. Yeah. How they, form their ideas together. And that is very important for me to stress again. TJ is not my only mentor, but he's one of my earliest mentors. And another of my early mentors, my eldest brother, Pastor Godis, he's a pastor of Arsenal Rock, Anambra Rocker. And he was my early mentor in terms of kingdom realities, new creation realities. And he was one of the breakout spiritual figures in my life. Someone who had gone far ahead. I saw him do exploits in the kingdom. Started early. Started speaking in tongues and all of these things that was new to us at the time. And I got to learn a lot from him. And being that I was privileged to be his youngest brother, it also gave me the willpower to say I can do this. He also, I remember my brother started Life Impact Dimensions. It was a company he started for training and consulting at the time. I knew nothing about consulting. My first personality assessment test that I took, he sent it to me. So that's part of it. He was my brother, but he literally also helped in mentoring me. So this has helped me. I was amazed when I did my personality assessment test first time and I discovered my personality. I was at peace with myself. I started to understand myself better. I started to appreciate myself better. I started to coordinate myself better because I now understand myself and I had clarity on how to deal with myself better. And that couldn't have happened if I didn't have a mentor.
Yes.
My brother sent me a link to say, take this test. And also, my desire and appetite to impart lives also came from watching him starting to do it early. And we traveled to NYC camps to do skill acquisition, enterprise development trainings, and all of that. When I barely knew nothing. These were two elementals that really gave me the underpinning of what I'm building with my life right now.
And it's important to note that the earlier you can get a mentor, the better for you.
Correct.
The earlier you can have access to people, the better for you. The reason why I say this is because I remember way back 2018 when I started my journey as a media person, so as a photographer, right?
Okay.
The very first event I went for, I didn't come from so much money, right? But we were exposed to work.
Okay.
We knew how to work. So the idea was just keep moving. Whatever in life you see, just keep moving. Make sure there is movement no matter what. Don't stay at the point, just keep moving. And one of the people that painted that picture for me was my other brother. Now, we're thinking about it. We'll be in secondary school. You can imagine, you see people that do scrap, right? We love money so much. So we're going to secondary school and he told me to always bring my waterproof, right, inside the bag. It's inside our pocket. So we're walking on the road, we have our iron. We see an iron or maybe a rod in the ground, just hit it and then bring it out, put it in the bag. Why? Because they're going to resell it. No, there was an SS1.
Yeah.
And I was in JS1, right? We didn't have a very great relationship growing up, okay, apart from the business part. So we disagree a lot on a lot of things because he's the immediate older brother. And growing up, I mean, they would tell us, call me brother, come. Not all of those things now, they're attributing to a different story that shaped the journey. And we started moving into markets and making moves. Also, he exposed us to learning new things. Then we moved over. I think I've had tons of mentors that maybe up until now I never realized that they were mentors because they played key roles that helped shape the mentality. The very first events as a photographer that I went for, they actually mashed on me because let's say Fanyoba right now, he came with his Rolls Royce and he sprayed dollars. So I was taking pictures of the photographer and the steps, they pushed me down, the steps to me, I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna have money. How did this happen? Someone, Mentor Joseph, is now Pastor Sources. He introduced me to his other brother, who is his mentor too, Hugh. And we started working together as a team. So they just brought us in. And this is going to lead me to the other parts of what do you think the payment for mentorship should be like? What? Oh, that's a tough question, but
It is tough and interesting. And to be honest, you cannot quantify or put a price tag to mentorship. Right? I cannot. For me, I'm going to speak from a personal angle.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not mentoring new people because mentoring is a great task. It's a huge responsibility. It is literally like be responsible for another man's destiny. True, another woman's destiny.
exactly what it is.
Yes. And it's a lot. Because as a mentor, you even have your own life to still figure out. Regardless of your stage, regardless of where you are, you still have stuff to figure out for yourself. Right? So it can be really tasking to engage in a mentorship relationship with someone. So when it comes to a value, I don't think it can be quantified in terms of money, right? But wherever and wherever, I think this is my opinion. Whenever and wherever you see any mentorship program or a mentor say pay XYZ amounts to get into my mentorship, it's not the money. It is just a strategy to sieve out the time wasters,
Yes.
the lackadaisical ones,
Yes.
the unserious ones, the ones that will not pull through or come through for them as well, the ones that are leeches and parasites.
I like how you put them in that angle. Yeah, that's just what it is.
Because I do that. I tell you come to me, so I scare you with, can you pay $1,000? When the person gives a response, you would know if actually, they belong to that category. Truth be told, I don't really charge that. But their response tells me if I should go on with that conversations. It's a filter it's a security for me. Because I'm busy. I'm honestly busy. I have a lot of stuff to figure out for my own life. I have a lot of stuff to do, to commit to. There is business, there are businesses, there is relationship, there is family, there is all of that. And then being responsible for another human being and not just one, I have tons of mentees. Yeah, so whenever a mentor, a good mentor says, pay this, not because it's the money thing, it's that they want to be sure that, no, you value, what they're giving you. And there is this thing about humans, when you give out value and people don't part with money, they tend to treat it with levity. It's a tendency to trivialize, for example, something that is valuable. Even the Bible says, do not cast, petals, or do not cast treasures before swine, so as they don't devalue it. So for me, no amount of money, I have mentors that have had events that I could say, as their mentee, they will let me come in, but I will say, no, I'll pay. Yeah, it happened recently. I have friends who are mentors to me. They are friends, but in a particular area, they are mentors. Whether it's sales, in consulting, or something, they've gone farther than me. So they are mentors. So I don't go to them because of relationship. They can actually say, "Oh, Talle, come in," or you will come speak. There was even a training I went for in Transcorp. I don't know if you have. Maybe I saw it. I called him up. He's a friend and a mentor. I called him up and I paid for the training. I ended up speaking at the training. I ended up speaking there. But you see, I didn't want to trivialize and commonize, the effort he was putting in. First of all, to get a venue in Transcorp costs money. Do that. So I didn't want to just, let me go. So if you have a mentor who is doing a lot, also be valuable. You don't even need to wait for them. And I'm grateful, that there are certain people like that who understand value. And I'm going to just also say this. I noticed that you're like that too. And yeah, in that way, and you deliver excellently. Truth be told, I'm saying here live, your work has been the best in all of the tours we did, all the cities we went. In fact, so long global reposted that video, and I've been getting reports that Abuja real was the best. Like the class, the excellence, the everything. So imagine me in Dubai, for instance, and there's a conversation. It was CEO so long coming to Nigeria, and there's a media house that should cover it. Now, the one you did, I'm saying this here, I didn't pay you. I told the Solon to I didn't pay these guys, right? Imagine that would be a paid event. Do you think I'll give it to another person? I wouldn't pay. That's what some people don't understand with mentorship. So with relationships and you assessing, certain places and giving value. Very important. Give value. Do you understand? It might not be money, it might not pay, but there is something you can do. I remember boarding bus from Benin City to Lagos, Sheraton hotels. I stayed and squatted with my friend in Egbeda in Lagos. This was like 11, 12 years ago. And a mentor of mine at the time was living in the UK, Paul Kayode Josh. And he was having my double conference. I went to volunteer as a protocol in that event. This was 2014 or so, yes. I couldn't afford flights. So I didn't see it there. By the time I got there, I suited up, this fresh and crispy. You will never. But he was grateful that I showed up for him. Guess what? 2 years later, I became a speaker in that event. Yes, I spoke at my double conference alongside Stephen Akintayo's wife and alongside some other amazing speakers, alongside the late Dr. Obo King. Right? I'm mentioning it here because these are real stories. Yeah, I know that I'm not just talk. Yeah. He has been mentoring me for years on and we've been having conversations. Well, I saw an opportunity to serve. And I didn't have to start asking for money. I moved myself to Lagos to serve at his events. So these are some of the ways. There's no way to quantify mentorship. If I have a way to add value to someone, even still at this level, there are billionaires I'm looking to connect. Exactly. There's one I met lately. I say, I can help you. There's something I can do for you. Because I always have something. It's the belief. I don't come with a needy mindset. And for a mentee out there, whoever you want to connect with,
Don't always go looking for what to get. Start by looking for what to give, what to do, what value to add. All right? Notice it. If you have someone you admire, you do check out if they have nice graphics design. If not, offer. Find something to offer. Don't go and say, that Thomas no sabi dress. You thought him money, see how he be. So that's a need right there. That's a need right there. When you check their social media pages, it's not all together. Meet Danny. Whatever you can do, just add value. Anybody you admire. And they will see your value. They are good mentors. They will draw you close and add value. That's true. What they will do for you, you cannot do for yourself. I agree. Sorry, I have to say this. Chuno TJ, I'm dropping names here. He's my big brother, and shout out to him. Perhaps I've not said this to him before. I owe a lot to him, right? I've been invited to Aso Rock twice, and first time was through a contact through TJ. Second time was through a contact through another contact through TJ. I like how you structured the process of mentorship.
Yeah.
Especially with the instances you gave, the real life examples, how mentorships help to navigate life. I mean, going to Aso Rock 2 times just because of the contact and the contact of the same person is important. I would likely say the same thing with me. So my journey started as a photographer. Remember I mentioned it. Well, I've transitioned to a drone pilot. I've transitioned to I would probably call it the apex of media, to the point of doing commercials with most of the most popular commercial producers here in Nigeria. You see, we did some jobs, I think, some years ago in partnership with Milolua Films and Sterling Bank and JP, Palton Morgan real estate companies. These are like the top in Lagos when I was still active in that line. But then I transitioned to blockchain.
Yeah.
How did I transition to blockchain? I never knew a thing about blockchain, not even one. But I got to learn from my boss's cousin. So everything revolves. During MJ's book launch, I mentioned that everything that I've been doing revolves around mentor Joe Sources. It revolves around him. I sat down one day to think about them. Like, I was able to get in touch with Hero Concept because of him. I was able to I started working with KOK at some point based on Hero Concept. We were working with with him sometime last 2 years and last year. Very active. Even his 60th birthday, I was the one that did the official film for that.
Oh, wow.
And then you see that we were able to get in touch with most of the highest circles in Nigeria that I cannot even mention their names. It was through my mentor, who is my boss, and my biggest elder brother. He has played the most important role in my life. Mr. Hero, Philip Hero, he has done so much for a lot of us. He has so many boys.
God bless.
So what he did was he brought all of us from different places, and then he started establishing us in mindset. He started taking us to events that we would never in our lives, except God helps us, enter.
Wow.
Most of the VIP events that you see in Lagos, the biggest clubs in the billionaires, we work for them. And it's funny because most of them know my faces. They might not know my name, but they know my face, right? They know our faces. And most of the people in the team. So the process started going. And this is just to add to your story. So when I joined the blockchain space, it was because of my boss's cousin.
Yes.
So he just came back from Spain and was like, oh yeah, there's a DAO in this. I joined. But then we started the process because of friends. We had friendships, strategic friendships that could introduce us at the time. And we started building up these processes. And we've kept on navigating. Do you know that the biggest money I've made in my life came from the smallest skill I never thought would pay?
Wow.
And that skill was the skill that my boss and mentor taught me, video editing.
Wow.
He taught us the business of photography and not the art. I may not give you the best video, but I will give you the best being. And I will give you the best value. I'm painting a picture for you. You're seeing the experience. And you would be the one to ask me, how much will it cost for him to have this experience? We came from mentorship. If I was to pay for that mentorship in a university, which I know I will not get, it would be millions of naira. So much. But it came for just a little cost. My time, my service. I served my boss till now. I'm still serving him. So he can come in and say, Thompson, we have an event in Lagos. And I will cancel all my plans because I have to be there.
Yeah. That's honor.
We may have not have most of the beautiful relationship because I mean, growing up as a man, you know that, okay, there are responsibilities and you feel like, okay, you want to go my own path and all of that, which I would still want to circle back in terms of that energy that you talked about. Why there is need to, build upon energy, value proposition. I like how you put all of those things together. Give value. How have you been able to build most of the profitable relationships that you have now? How did you introduce yourself into the scene?
Okay. Okay. To be honest with you, um, I I might look fly and sleepy and all that, but I'm a very spiritual man, and I believe in the grand scheme of life, and I also believe in the supernatural, not the universal supernatural, but the God kind of supernatural.
Exactly.
Now, I said that to say this. Having said that, I don't just build relationships. I work with the promptings and the leading of my spirits while building a relationship. Right. So remember what I told you. If we are connected, we are connected. You know, get as one being. So if there is a prompting in my spirit to walk up to someone and network, I go. Right. I could go for a party, I could go for a networking event, I could go for a conference, and I just network with 3 people. And those 3 people are key people, strategic. So I don't go sharing my card. I don't even go do cards. Like, I don't have a card as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Yeah, because I mean, a mentor of mine always tell me that people toss cards. So I get you to save my number immediately, and you text me, or I text you now on what I mean. That's what I do. So that's why I keep the number low. If it's 4 people I connect with, I make an impression. All right. And there's a hack. The fastest way to impress people is to be impressed by them.
Wow.
Yeah. So you don't go trying to impress people. Say, hi, I am Talle. I wrote 4 books and this, that. I'm the founder of this. And then they get bored of you. Like, who is this guy? You're full of yourself. So you go meeting people by finding something valuable they have done and speaking good of them. Make an impression. Oh, wow, you're Tomsy. Oh, I think I read about you. You're the founder of this, founder of that. Oh, wow, you started this podcast and you're telling these amazing people. I love what you do, and it's amazing to connect with you. You're focused on the other person, not yourself. Well, what people do is they want to network, they go, hi, my name is this, and talking about themselves. So I don't do that. That's a hack. I just had to drop that quick.
There's a real way to do life. So if you did not share this now, it's possible that someone would not hear this till the next 20 years, and time must have passed.
True.
Right. So I think that's the most important thing we are trying to do with all of these founders, all these beautiful and amazing people.
Yeah. So I'll say it again. The fastest way to impress people is to be impressed by that. And you go letting them know, not like you're asleep king or something, but no, find something valuable to speak about them, and they'll be impressed by you, and we make a connection.
Could even be as simple as wanting to know them more.
Yeah, tell me about what you do. People will always love to talk about themselves. So what let them do is the talk. Don't go do the talking. Let them do the talking and listen actively. And at the end, oh wow, I'd love to connect with you. Let me have your WhatsApp, or can I give you my WhatsApp and my number or something, my email or whatever? Connect, exchange messages there. Don't just take the number, okay, I'll call you later. The first 24 hours is very key. Like I said, this is very practical, but I don't even do this without a lead in my spirit. And so it starts from that foundation. It has to be that, okay, there's a needy to meet this person. And when I do, and it always connects, because if we are connected, we'll be connected.
True.
Yeah. So that's a great way I've been able to build some of the profitable relationships that I have currently, both from Web3, blockchain, or the personal development niche, the spiritual angle, and all of that.
They don't talk about this in school, and it's so bad. It feels so bad. I feel for some people that may likely neglect the things we're discussing here. I think people tend to trivialize things without even knowing it. It pains me so much because a lot of experience has gone into most of the things that you're sharing, if not all of them. Years and decades of learning, unlearning, failing.
Yeah.
And then after a long period of time, we now come to this realization as this summary that this is how it should be done. Right? But you now see someone that has not done right, they've not really started, and They still want to fail. I think failure is important, but it's all good. You talked about mentors and strategic friendships, how to impress people by getting to know them more.
Yeah.
Possibly researching and knowing a little bit more about them even before you even get in touch with them is as important as anything. But towards the part of personal development now, okay, how have you been able to navigate life in general as one of the 1%, like I would call them, right? Okay, there are rare people that everything they are doing is centered on personal development, which is one of the things I like to do, right? And now we're beginning to talk about this to thousands of young people, not necessarily young people, elder people as well. It's okay. You can lead any organization. It starts with you as a person. Now, how would you encourage someone to go about personal development?
To be honest, there is no hard or fast rule. It's not a one-way street. So it depends on where you are at every point in time. Some persons, they are on level 10. Some persons are on level 50. Some persons are on level 30, level 80. So it depends on where you are at the moment. And regardless of your level, though, the underscore is that you've got to take personal responsibility of your growth.
Yeah.
Don't submit the outcome of your life to an external force. Whether you have the right friendship, whether you have the right mentorship, yet
Yes.
still don't say, oh, because I don't have friends, or because I don't have the right tools, or because I don't have the right mentors. When you do that, you're already submitting the outcome of your life to an external force. So take responsibility. It's not an opportunity to give yourself excuses, right? So first, make sure that you're responsible for your personal development. Before the conversations of what mentorship has done for me, to be very honest with you, I am self-taught in a lot of things. I am self-driven in a lot of areas.
Important.
Very important. Because whatever a mentor does, without the inputs of yourself in the process, without you implying yourself, investing yourself, immersing yourself in that process, there won't be a great output.
That's right.
So mentorship and grace is what amplifies your inputs to a bigger output.
Yeah, I agree.
But you cannot take away the constant K, which is the inputs, your personal inputs.
Yeah.
Your personal effort, right? This is the time to wake up. Your mentor is not living with you. He might tell you, Thompson, ensure you wake up by 4. But you got to get your butts to wake up.
Yeah.
Read this book or read 3 chapters a day. You can lie to your mentor and tell him, give him a report that, oh, you've read it. But did you actually read it? And if you're ready, did you read it to impress your mentor? Or you ready to actually learn, to understand? And if you learn to understand, did you implement? And that will apply yourself to the lessons learned. To be honest, I am not, because I'm busy. I'm honestly busy. And I'm not just physically busy. I'm very mentally busy. That is to pick a book. I can have books in my library and I've not finished. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you this.
It's what it is.
I've not finished maybe all of them at a time. But if I read a chapter in one book, someone else may have read 10 books, but one chapter in one book, what I would achieve with the knowledge in that one chapter, I will make sure I immerse myself in that knowledge and milk it. I get the best out of that information, because knowledge separates the best from the rest. I understand that. It's not in the activity of reading, oh, I read 10 books this year. No. So that is because I am personally invested. I'm personally invested. When I got into blockchain and crypto, I told myself, I don't come here to play small. I'm going to win big here. Big. So that was a personal decision. In the journey of personal development, never submit your output to a third party or an external force. Make sure you take personal responsibility for your growth and for your outcome.
But this is so amazing. It doesn't sound very new to me because I'm very invested in research and development, sir. But at the same time, what everything they're saying is doing is amplifying the things I've read and heard and are working. So it shows that, oh, okay, I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
Now, these people have done this.
Yeah.
And then they've seen X amount of result from doing this.
Yeah.
At the same time, I like to tell myself, at the end of the day, this is one of my quotes.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, success, progress, growth, results, old age, and life will come. It will happen to all of us.
Correct.
Most of us will get to the peak. Most of us will not. But what would distinguish and differentiate the people that actually get there is how much prepared and how much investment you did in yourself to get it. How I put it is that at the end, report will show who did what and what they did. It will pay you so. We will know. Yeah, we will know what they did. I like how you put all of these things together. This is a work of an experience, actually. It's not something that you read. It's something that you've experienced over time, and you've come to this realization that this is how it's supposed to be done. And then when you mentioned how that you need to take initiative for your own growth and not outsourcing it to other people, therefore blaming people, oh, it's because of this person left me that I could not continue, or because they laid me off in my company, that's why I could not continue running. I deeply resonate with that. I talk more than I write, because my hands most times are not able to meet up with the frequency of my GPU, which is my brain. Genius brain. So it keeps on popping. So I cannot write it this week. See, I was trying to write down the things you said, but look at where I could stop. But now I have to sit and reflect on that. Why I'm saying this is because we have a wrong belief in terms of reading. And then I would like us to amplify that particular part of reading. Okay. There are people who are doing personal developments, starting from reading materials, engaging in research, and data development and analysis as well for their own good. And you see that they sit down and they consume a 500-page book. Why? By the time you tell me why they are doing that, I don't even know. That's crazy. And then I started engaging in research. I think it was Ask Vin. I'm going to call this a shout out to Ask Vin. He's a communication coach. Take a lot of courses and a lot of things, because I know that the journey is far. The earlier you prepare, the better. And he mentioned that you don't need to read all the books. You don't even need to read all the chapter. So how to read? How to read is this. When you get a book, open it, go through the table of contents, know what you need, what you need per time. You don't need everything. Oh. You don't need everything. You just hit the head on the nail. Have you heard that before? It's usually hit the nail on the head. No, you hit the head on the nail. Dude, so you actually, I do that, and it's amazing that you think that way too. I open a book, chapter 1 says this, chapter 2 says this, I need something in chapter 4. Open the hell up and read it. I tell people, stop reading. Can we just stop reading and start studying? Yeah. And if in the process of studying, it says, I addressed this in the previous chapter, I can revert and not, to the previous chapter. Yeah. So why would I just, that have a lot to do. There's nobody created the rules to say you must do it this way. I started by saying it's not a one-way street. I'm quite a rebel. In some way, I don't like anything how everybody does things, so I do it my way, and as long as it works for me, and it's productive, it's cool. I like how you put it, because the universe actually rewards the people, the 1% that go the other route. Yeah. So look at everyone who made significant progress in life, starting from Elon. Now, who would see as someone who has defied the universe and their laws. You see that they are the people that went the other way. So I keep on reinforcing and telling people, oh, I'm doing a case study on the people that win. What are the policies? What are the things they engage themselves? I keep finding out the exact same thing. They are the people that their brain don't work the same way other people's don't work. Yeah. I've discovered that they are the people that have, a separate brain from what other people think. They're, like, I would call them the 1% saints. They're the ones that do what the 99s don't like to do. So they see what the 99s do and they're like, no, we're not doing this. Then they go the opposite direction. So, and I think when you say I'm a rebel, in most cases, it's how it's supposed to be, because the people that are going to solve the real problems are not the people that created them. So the people that create the problems, sometimes they don't have the understanding to solve the problems they created. And then when you are researching about something and you keep on finding and laying your hands on several things, so it's just a thing of, this is what you need to do. If you find yourself in this area, then this is how to navigate. It's a step-by-step process that people should follow. Yeah. As opposed to writing a 1,000-page book and then it's just a bunch of stories that we don't really need. So it's important to know that. And then for Making Room, what was the drive that pushed you to writing that book? Wow, that's a big question, because Making Room, I wrote it for 10 years.
Wow, yes, I wrote it for 10 years, and a book you can consume in 1 or 2 hours. I wrote it for 10 years. God specifically told me to release that book because I kept having the perfection syndrome of it has to be perfect, it has to be perfect. And he woke me one day and say, make sure you drop this way. It was as though I was getting short of oxygen. I had to just drop it because I'm a multi-talented person, and there were hardly resources out there that addressed the problem of a multi-talented person. When you are gifted and talented in a number of things, in a number of areas, but you're broke, and it looks like one side you are gifted, on the flip side you are cursed, because you can do these plenty things, but you're not productive, you're not coordinated. Life is scattered, and then this gospel of jack of all trades, master of none, which is an unbalanced teachings, because that was just an isolated phrase from an entire sentence. That didn't help. And I mean, it's in the book, my suicide story. I attempted suicide twice because, yeah, I was messed up with all of the talents, with all the amazing things that I could do. My life was scattered. I was broke. I was not coordinated. I was not progressive and productive. So I literally documented my journey in 10 years, and I used that. It's not a researched online material. It is what I have lived. It is practical, and it has affected lives in continents. So it's not a material you see online. One of my mentors, Dr. Sami Koko, who forwarded the book, I mean, I was humbled to see him write that he wishes he read this material 40 years ago. Wow, yes. In fact, if you read the forward, he said, when I sent him the manuscript, like he put on his critical glasses, like he was trying to, okay, let me see. So he was like, at some point, no, 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 this is not something I'm to vet. This is something I'm to learn from. That he had to switch from trying to check for mistakes to consuming the information. This is not my word. It's there in the book, and he's a highly reputable man. So I can't even lie about him. So I mean, this is real life that I put. And if you're multi-talented out there and you're looking for a resource, this is your best bet. And it's tiny. I know you're busy, you're multi-talented, you don't read a lot. So it's very tiny. In 1 or 2 hours, you are done. If you catch the flights before your flight is over, you're done. And every single chapter, you have practical tasks to do to help you. So the idea of making room is an acronym, right? It stands for realize, organize, optimize, and monetize your multi-talents. So imagine you enter a room and it's scattered. There's a feeling it gives to you. But when you make your room, when you arrange your room, the clothes are where they are, the shoes are where they are, the slippers are where they are, it's well perfumed, there's candle scents everywhere. And you feel calm, you feel productive, some sort of many multi-talented people, their lives are like that scattered room, and that's why they are not productive. That's why they feel frustrated. So this book helps you to arrange your life. You keep your talents, you understand your talents, you keep your unique abilities, you keep your creative gifts, you understand your skills, your affinities, your passions, you understand the differences. You understand the connecting threads to all of them, how you can maximize and explore them. And that's why you first realize, you organize, you optimize, and then you monetize, you refine. This is the resource you need. I never saw this coming. Yeah. I saw this coming. It's a beautiful thing because it's like I say, most of these things are not always shared. The resources are limited, especially to most of the people I would like to call my community members. Most of them don't even know that they are my community members. They don't even know that they have a role to play in our lives, and we have a role to play in their lives. There is a limited access to most of this information. It's not out there on the internet. As a researcher, I would tell you it's not out there. Yeah, it's not. It's not. A step-by-step process. Yeah, you see people telling different things. You have to now sit down and put them together on your own. Life operating system that Ali Abdal does is part of his courses for productivity. You see, it's like a step-by-step system-oriented way of organizing yourself and getting things done. I'm thankful that you could even bring a copy of Making Room to this place. I saw it online. I'm like, okay, we're going to put the link in the description so that people can grab a copy. I would encourage anyone who is multi-talented. Sometimes people don't even know that they are multi-talented. That's not a problem. Yeah. So whether you feel like you're multi-talented or not,
I would tell you to please go on ahead and read this piece of work. This piece of art is beautiful. The acronym, the arrangement. But one of the true questions I like to ask many of the guests I have on Pizza Podcast is, how has pain shaped you on this journey?
Wow, pain. I've been through a lot of pain, to be honest with you. I just shared briefly that, I've attempted suicide twice, but God has helped me, delivered me from all of those mental torments and torture, and I'm in a better place.
Yeah.
Life comes with pain. Life is not fair. Life won't look at you and say, "Oh, Thompson, you're an amazing guy," and deliver all of God's promises to you. Life would test the heaven and the hell out of you. And I've been through all sorts: emotional pain, financial pain, mental pain, physical pain, and spiritual pain as
Yeah.
well. Different kinds of pain. But it's something I've always internally tried to do, is to turn my pain through purpose into profit. Profit in two dimensions: either money or impact. So if it is money, I create a solution from my experience. Just like I went through suicide, I survived suicide. I documented how I evolved from being unproductive, feeling useless, to being productive, right? Now I'm making money from my book. So from my pain, I've created lessons into this, and I'm selling it. Apart from the sales, you don't know how grateful I feel to be driving or walking to a conference and people like, Talle,
Yeah.
I read your book. I don't know these people. Ladies of no mean repute, men of high repute, they're like, your book changed my life. I'm shocked. So that's profit in impact,
Yeah.
not in cash. So I turn my pain into profits, whether in terms of impact or in terms of money, right? And then part of another pain that I turned, which I just want to quickly touch it before I wrap up, is while I was helping multi-talented people, I need to share this story. When I started helping multi-talented people, I think 2014, 2015, I noticed many of them, like me then, were, very passionate and driven. They had visions, they had dreams, they had stuff that God was always laying in their hearts to do. And they had the innate resources to do these things. They had the equipment to do these things, but they did not have the financial resources to do these things. So that was what led me into researching as to ways and means to build funds to be able to power your dreams and visions. And that's how I encountered crypto, right? That's how I encountered the Satoshi dream. Right. That's how I encountered blockchain. But me, as a knowledge merchant, as an inquisitive person, think only carry me go well. So I started researching and I fell in love with the idea of decentralization, the idea of the Satoshi dream. So I just got sold. But what led me there was the passion to how can people really make money online and stuff. You understand? I tried oil and gas, I tried data entry. I made my first million from data entry with collective2.com in the US. I was 21 then, right? So, but all of these things, it wasn't something I could replicate as systems. But when I found crypto, whoa, guess what I did? I built crypto elites, evolved into a community and global crypto enthusiasts, and we raised a lot of millionaires. People were able to start getting money. Some relocated, some further their studies, some started powering their vision. So so it was linked. The dream, the vision was linked. You understand? So my pain, I always try to turn it into profits, whether in impact or in income.
That's true, because if you think of it in this way, how I see what you're saying is problems are never going to stop coming.
Yeah.
Every point in time, as people who are problem solvers, solution providers, it's part of our DNA to solve problems, giving us the ability rather to keep on seeing these problems so that we can be able to solve them. Solving the mindset problem in people,
Yes.
is one of the biggest problems to solve. If you are able to solve the problems that 1 million people have mentally,
Yeah.
you've liberated a community, a nation, a people from a certain thing, which is themselves.
Yes.
And that is why, amongst everything that you built,
Yeah.
crypto elite is one of the things that has interested me the most. Yeah, respectfully speaking, every other thing, they're beautiful, but it's encouraging them. It's just like Nurika is the layer 2.
Yes, of course. It goes well. The mentee I spoke about, I met him through crypto edit.
Exactly. Yeah. So Nurika is like the layer 2, or maybe the layer 3 even, because now there is opportune.
Yes.
There's opportune, which is like the layer 2, if not the layer 1, because it starts with solving the mindset problem. And I will encourage anyone, any leader out there who is able to do this as well. Please solve people's mental problem first. People are they're so wrong. It's so wrong. And then it's not because they want to, it's the system they were born into, the culture. Now they've gone to school, and then even inside the church, every part of what they do, nobody's trying to solve the mindset problem that there is. So you opening people up to how they can make room,
Yeah.
and then how they can earn, leveling them up into what I call the frontier, where the world is going, showing them where the world is going. Say, okay, please go in this direction. While you're going in this direction, stay fit, exercise. Now, you do leadership. There's so much work that you put out there that we are grateful. Some people are going to be lucky to come across this episode next year. Some people this year.
True.
But whoever does, I'm so sure in particular that they're going to benefit so much from it. That's going to bring us to the very last question.
Okay.
I would like to know 3 things that you would tell any builder out there based off of where you were 5 years ago. 3 things you would tell anyone to please do this.
3 things. 5 years ago was 2020.
Yes.
COVID. Cool. I have to think of it. I'm a very practical person. So in COVID, I did the most travels. That year, I went to countries upon countries. I moved a lot. They made money from me. I made to do a lot of in and out COVID tests. Yeah, I remember that was the most active period of travel for me. And I was, oh my goodness, passion is powerful.
Yeah.
Imagine with the whole lockdown and with the scare of movements, I was traveling around Africa, across Africa, building. That was when I was actively building crypto edits.
Wow.
Yes, I was doing events in Kampala, in Ghana, in SA, in bikes with the whole COVID.
Passion.
Yeah, passion. Had to cut COVID at some point because of the whole movement of conference of stuff in Dubai. It was quarantine. We were not relenting because we wanted to make things happen. And today, I look at how well evolved in 5-6 years. Everybody's in another level, another dimension. So yeah, haven't thought about that. I just had to go down memory lane. 3 things I would say. Yeah, since I talked about passion, if I have passion,
A lot of me.
yeah, passion is not all. Passion can scam you.
Mix.
Yeah, yes, passion can scam you, especially if you do not have the commensurate resources to fund the passion. It's dangerous, right? Yeah, but if you have the commensurate resources in terms of innate or financial resources, innate resources, maybe talents, gifts, skill, leadership capacity, and all of those things, that's innate resources. It has to be inborn inside, and then financial resources, there's money. We imagine we didn't have money to pay for air tickets, pay for visa and all those things, pay for hotel.
Happen.
Yeah, I can't go to Uganda and build a community. I can't go to Ghana or Kenya and build a community. I can't go to Rwanda and build a community. So if you have the right resources, passion. So have passion, right? Number 2, have citizens of your brand. People who believe in your brand, that they can sell your brand and come and even give you the money. They won't even keep it. To be honest, I can't teach this thoroughly without talking about praying about it. Because I cannot tell you step 1, do this and it will work. I cannot honestly say this is the formula that brought that result. The formula I can think of is pray about your vision, right?
Stand and have a relationship with.
Yes. Number 1, have a vision. Number 2, pray
Vision.
about the vision. Number 3, be passionate about the vision. So I recap, have a vision. There is something you should look forward to. And vision is built from 3 things.
Now,
Hindsights, insights, and forecasts. Yeah. So what has been, what is, and what could be. Develop something, right? Have a vision. And then pray about it. That God will send citizens of that brand, of that vision, partners, people that will come and own it and help you. Because if they don't, you can't do it on your own. Sure. And then 3rd, once you do that, be passionate. Have an unbendable force that you're going head on to say, no matter the challenges, no matter the pain, no matter what. Imagine COVID could not stop us. Could have been a place, say lockdown, hot Zoom, online. We moved and we touched lives. We traveled road trips with these stores.
I like the restructuring part of it. I like to tell everyone what I like about what they said, right? How that you need to have vision. What can you see? I think I talk about vision a lot on 1% Better Every Day, the other podcast that I host. What can you see? Whatever your eyes can see that I could give you, that I will actually give you. I mean, it's an instruction, and he says, now your eyes have seen this thing.
Yeah.
Do not be afraid. Do not be dismayed.
Yes.
Now, then you can now go to God, and I mean, in the process of even having a mission, you get clearance. Oh, this is what this vision is about. It's the spirit that gives you understanding, because there's a spirit in man, and then he just does breathing upon the spirit, and then the understanding comes. You now start praying for citizens. The understanding would help you manage the people and sees the future for them. And then you have the passion, the grit, the strength to keep the. It cannot be overemphasized. There is definitely a need for you to be able to see. Yeah. I like how you mentioned this, and I believe that in the next years to come, that the millions of people that are going to come across this content, their lives are going to change for the better, and they're going to become better people. You've done a breakdown of practical things that you need to do, practical things that you need to work on if you are yet to work on them. We talked about strategic partnerships. We dwell so much on mentorship. Take mentorship very, very, very important. Thank you so much, Dr. Talle, for having me coming today.
I wish you could talk more. Like, I just love it. I don't feel like we're having a podcast. It's not like it's just a natural conversation.
And over time, we're going to bring more founders, like-minded people to what we would call a round table, and we go on and share our opinions, as to how people should see life, and we get to learn from ourselves. That's the better things, and we get to validate what we know. Now, I've gotten a lot of hype inside me that, okay, when I'm telling people this, I know that this is not what only me know.
No.
There are millions of people out there, and there are millions of people that I would call mentors out there whom they've been able to run with these particular set of principles. They've seen results. So you like what you see, what I did.
Yeah. You get to see results.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure.
You so
to be here.
all of you who have been with us till now, you want to thank you for still being with us, tuning in and listening to this episode. We have one ask. Please go on ahead and subscribe, and if you would, please share this to other people. You would as well bookmark this for a long more time. It's available on audio on Spotify, so you can always listen to these discussions when you are at work, when you are working, when you are jogging, when you feel down, and all of that. The purpose of what we're doing is to spark hope and positivity and let you become better people. And we like the support that you're giving us. Thank you. See you on the next one.